This is why I don't trust them. Welcome back, guys. We're back at it again, taking a look at another movie. And this one, we're taking a look at 2020's Dolittle. This, of course, is a reboot of the Dr. Dolittle movies. I don't know how similar or how different it is from the original Dr. Dolittle movies because I never watched them. I know. Hang on. Let me explain. I don't have an excuse. I just haven't watched them. However, I did get a chance to watch this one because I was really looking forward to seeing Robert Downey Jr. in a role other than Iron Man, but also in a role like this one. He very much in this movie feels like a Hugh Jackman style character, someone who plays Wolverine, but he also plays in Les Miserables. I like seeing an actor who's willing to do a whole lot more diverse roles, and I think this is one of those ones that's very different than Tony Stark. This is Dr. Dolittle. This is a very different persona that is being brought up from Robert Downey Jr. And to me, I think Robert plays this role very well. This movie is rated PG. Parental guidance is suggested. I sort of agree with that. I think it's a very kid-friendly movie. I think there's not a whole lot that parents would be too upset about in terms of the movie itself. There are some moments I'm like, interesting. But overall, I think it's wacky, funny, hilarious, and silly. Right now, in terms of scores, once again, the movie's been out now on DVD. In terms of scores, what you saw at the beginning was very much, once again, seeing as how the tomato meter is not really lining up well with audience scores. The tomato meter, the critic scores in Rotten Tomatoes is set at 15%. That's really low. To give you a perspective, the movie Batman vs. Superman, a movie that is very much hated by critics and some fans, received only a 28. This received a lower rating by critics than Batman vs. Superman. That's low. That's a very low rating. However, the audience score has it set at a 76. A 76%. That is a huge difference in appeal to this movie. As you can see, this movie is very much a divided movie on whether or not you enjoy it or whether or not you don't. So let's dive into it and let's see what's going on with this movie. The story follows a little boy who is essentially a walking PETA advertisement. He doesn't want to hurt or kill anything, but he lives with a family that loves to kill and to hunt and to feel the self-satisfaction of killing your own meal kind of deal. So he goes out with his family one day. He accidentally shoots a squirrel, realizes it's super hurt, needs help, until a parrot says, "Follow me," kind of a deal. It's like, "Follow me," and he takes him to Dr. Dolittle. Dr. Dolittle has been secluded in his home for a very long time, ever since his wife died, and has essentially resorted to only speaking to animals. At this point, not only is the boy showing up, but this little girl who ends up being related to the Queen is requesting Dr. Dolittle's assistance because the Queen is very sick, and this doctor knows everything, apparently. And so the plot point kind of thickens from there. There's, of course, a major antagonist who is also a doctor, and the story sort of follows it from there. The story is very much fantasy style. It definitely reaches true fantasy at the end of the series, or at the end of the movie. And so that's just sort of all of it without being super spoiler-esque in the whole ordeal. The animals talk. It constantly changes the perspective of hearing the animals speak and not hearing the animals speak. It's a very clever movie. I think the plot is very interesting. One of the things I think that the critics don't like about it is just how fast it gets into the story. You immediately embark on an adventure that is not really explained. It's sort of talked about in narrative for about a minute and a half, and then boom, you're going. That's sort of the pace that they put this movie in, is that it's with haste. You have to get this done right now. We're in a very limited amount of time right now. And that's sort of what this movie is trying to convey. The whole movie starts off nice and slow. It helps warms you up into the plot, and then it's go from there. And I think that's where a lot of people get thrown off by. It's a lot different than other movies that are trying to give you a go from the beginning and then slows down near the middle and end. This one is sort of the opposite. It starts off nice and slow, gets you used to everything, and then picks up that pace for you. That's sort of where I think a lot of people are very divisive about it. I think another thing a lot of people are divisive about is Robert Downey Jr. himself. His voice acting in this, the type of persona he's putting on with Dr. Dolittle, is a little thrown for me. I'm not too impressed with the voice that he tries to use in this movie. To me, every now and then, it feels like he's voicing over, like he's dubbing this movie. It feels like this movie, or at least his character, was speaking another language, and then he's dubbing over that language. That's kind of what it feels like to me. However, I know that's not the case. That's the actual voice he's trying to convey. And it's, to me, off-putting. To others who have watched it with me, it was kind of off-putting, but it didn't ruin the movie. Everyone else, all the other voice actors, all of the other actors played a fantastic job. They played their role super well. It's a little unfortunate that the lead role seems to have been the divisive factor in this scenario. However, it wasn't the movie ruining factor in this scenario, for me at least. Overall, I thought the plot, like I said, went super well. I think the movie tied up really well. I doubt there'll be a sequel to this movie. I don't think this movie merits itself enough for a sequel. However, I'm not quite sure what will happen to it. It could do a sequel, and it would be just fine. It could not be a sequel, and it could be a nice little one-off. It's just the way it is for this kind of movie, in my opinion. I think one of the biggest takeaways from this movie is just seeing how much Robert Downey Jr. is willing to do outside of the role he's been playing for so long. Robert Downey Jr. essentially started the Marvel Cinematic Universe with Iron Man, and people have known him for Iron Man and Tony Stark for a very long time. So to see him in something different is sort of a culture shock in a sense. It's, whoa, hold on now. It's sort of like seeing Adam Sandler in Uncut Gems. It's something a little bit different. Adam Sandler's more in the goofiness, and he's in the funny movies, and, you know, Happy Gilmore and things like that. And then he does Uncut Gems, and it's a little bit more serious than what he normally plays. And so for us to see Robert Downey Jr. in a movie where he's normally playing, this billionaire playboy who has all this money, ends up becoming a superhero, and ends up trying to save the world over and over and over again for like over a decade. And then you've got him in this role as Dr. Dolittle. It's super interesting, and that's one of the things I was excited about seeing, which is another reason why I always say the tomato meter, the critics for Rotten Tomatoes, don't know what people like. They're looking at these movies and shows through a totally different lens than everybody else. It's a totally different lens, and this movie is a prime example of the difference. 15% to 76%. It's nowhere close to being close. It's nowhere near the same idea. It's completely hate versus it's an alright movie. 76% I think is a very respectable movie. I think as an audience, a 76% out of 100, I mean, that's a passing grade. That's like you probably could have done better, but you know what? I'm proud of you, son. Where a 15% is, you know what? That movie probably should have never been made. I hope you guys enjoy this video. I hope you guys enjoy the format that I'm doing these videos in. So please comment down below what you would like to see added or changed with these videos, as well as comment down below, did you like Dolittle 2020? Did you like this movie? Did you like this reboot? Were you fans of the original and loved this one, or hated it? Let me know. Please like this video, share it with others, and please comment down below, what do you want to see next? I'm very excited to be able to do more of these videos. I have a couple things on deck. However, that does not mean I am stuck to what I personally like to see. One of the things I like to do with consuming content is essentially take a look at what other people like to see. So whether that's books, movies, music, video games, TV shows, whatever it may be, I'm more than willing to give them a try sometimes, just to give my opinions on them. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, whatever it may be. And as always, I will see you guys later.